guys, I'm Josh with Smoky Murders. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I can only mean one thing. It's brisket time. But first, it's coffee time. Stick with us. Tell you guys a little espresso machine. It's amazing. 2 shots in about 30 seconds. Hot water, cafe Americano. Best coffee you'll ever have. Alright guys, so it's about 2:15 in the morning. I get the Yoder Y of 640 already up. We're going to take that up to 250 degrees. I'll show you guys the brisket here in just a second. And excuse me if I seem a little tired. I'm a little tired this Saturday morning. But I was going through the garage a little bit ago and I was able to find some barbecued light oak pellets. So I'm pretty excited about that because that's what I prefer to use on briskets. Right behind that, super close second would be the pecan pellets or pecan wood. I love the taste of the pecan wood. It's not overpowering, such as like mesquite or something like that. So we'll go here and take a look at this brisket. Alright guys, you can see here, Sam's Club, 17.88 pounds at $9 a pound. Today's super easy, guys. Today we're gonna go with a Texas style brisket. So I know I have this in a butcher's barbecue rub, and this guy's Rubs. Check their page out. Again, I'm not a spokesman for them, but they have some really good rubs. Their cherry rub, pecan rub. They have a steak rub that's really good, and they have their grilling oils, which are nice on steaks and burgers and things like that. So that's good stuff. But here we go today. Super simple, guys. 1 part pepper, 1 part salt. Put a little bit of garlic powder in there. I'd say no more than a tablespoon. And I do a little trick, don't tell anybody, but also put a little bit of celery seeds in there. So that's pretty good. Alright guys, I got the camera pointed down, so I want to talk about the brisket a little bit. I just showed you guys the label there. Again, just USDA choice from Sam's Club. But when I'm going to get a brisket, you know, it's being kind of wet aged in a back seal like this. Just a couple things I'm looking for. So this is a backyard brisket, it's what I would call it, because I'm cooking it for family and friends. And I want it to have some good fat content on it because that fat's going to render down. We're going to cook this outside today. Fat side up, which you can see here, it's whole backside, nice fat on it. I mean, there's hardly any hard fat. There's a little bit on the edge here, we can trim off. Not much at all. I mean, guys, you'll see some briskets, well, here, that I mean, the whole cap here will just be solid hard fat. You'll cut near a pound of fat off of that. So that's kind of good. So looking down here in the flat, next thing I'm gonna look at is just kind of look at the grain of the meat, look at the marbling in the grain, and that's gonna kind of come into play when you hear people talking about their grades of their meat. So the more you pay, the better that's gonna be. Again, this is USDA choice. Not a whole lot of marbling in the grain, but I guarantee you it's gonna be nice and juicy and pretty with a nice smoke ring on it. I'm gonna go ahead and call that at 2:35 in the morning. So, something too to think about with your grain of your meat, especially in like competitions, is if your grain of meat's running this way, you've got a limited area where you're gonna get good cuts of meat. Not worried so much about it for backyard home stuff. But if you're ever gonna think about competition type style, you want to try as much as you can to get that grain to be more parallel to the length of the brisket. Something like this, I'm going to note, you can always want to cut against the grain when you're making your cuts. So today with us doing a Texas style brisket, we're hoping to get a nice dark bark on there. You're not going to be able to see that. So we'll go ahead and notch this little side here so that we know that's the direction that we want to do our cuts after we get done cooking this awesome brisket. Next thing I want to look at that's kind of important in the store is you can look at the meat and you can see there might be, sometimes you'll see gray areas, and it almost looks like it's kind of starting to turn here. You'll see these gray areas of the meat where it almost looks like the meat's kind of dried or gone bad, freezer burn kind of look to it. And if you see that, guys, if you see like a whole, the whole side of it, you know, say on the edge here is like that, just see if they have a different brisket. You can't get away with it and you have some, make sure you just cut that off before you start, before you cook it. Other than that, guys, that's kind of like just the basics. There's a lot more that goes into picking a brisket, but for today we're going to start with the first brisket that we do. This is just the easy Texas style. Again, salt, pepper, garlic. Don't tell anybody my secret. A little bit of celery seed. When I say a little bit, I mean half a teaspoon. And we're going to rub this down with some olive oil here in a minute and get it ready for the smoker. So first thing first, I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of the back seal. I'm going to get it washed and get it in the pan. Alright guys, welcome back. So we get the brisket all washed and dried off, and something I forgot to talk to you guys about that I kind of look at, not so much, I don't really mind if I'm cooking in the backyard, but definitely on competitions type stuff, is you want to look down here and look at the height or the thickness of your flat. So you see it's a little thicker on this side, more so look up in this region here. Remember, these are what your slices are going to look like. So if it's really thin or if it's really big on one side and not on the other, then it just might not look as pretty. Not really too worried about it today. Again, this is a backyard brisket. Excuse me, guys. And just for family and friends, but my wife actually picked this up yesterday at Sam's Club, and I think she did a pretty good job. So, but what we were talking about a minute ago is kind of like, you look at that kind of freezer burn kind of look, and I don't know how that's coming out in the camera, but you can see how that is kind of a different color than this meat color here. So we're going to cut this edge off, just get that off, and there's a little bit up here, but this is going to kind of come off with some of that hard fat anyways. So it's getting old, as my kids will say, a kniff. Good old knife here. Let's see our puppy here. I can get the camera. That's Zoe. She's our buddy. You guys ever seen the movie Turner and Hooch? She is Hooch. She loves brisket. Alright guys, again, 1 part salt, 1 part pepper, a little bit of garlic, secret ingredient, a little bit of celery seeds. Go thick. This is a little mix. I ran out of peppercorn, so it's a little mix of fresh cracked black pepper and just some regular kind out of a jar that you get at the grocery store. Get all in. Make sure you cover it. Don't forget about the signs. We want that bark all around. Looking good. I don't rub like this. I know it's called a rub. I don't do that. You start doing that, you're going to lose that even application of the rub that you put on your meat. Okay, so just give it a pat. Again, guys, yeah, I'm going pretty liberal. That's what I want. All right, guys, that's it. That's Texas style brisket right there. Now I got to do is put it on the smoker. And I know there's a bunch of people out there making a lot of barbecue videos, some great dudes. Southern Coastal Cooking does some good stuff. T-Roy Cooks, check him out. Smoky Ribs, Malcom Reed. They'll cook phenomenal food. But the smoker does all the work, guys. You throw some wood on it, put some pellets in it, put some charcoal on it, put some water in it, whatever kind of smoker you have, it does all the work. This is too easy. Anybody can do this at home. And that's a big thing I want with my channel, is to know that you guys, anybody can cook great food and they can do it at home. So with that, I'm gonna go outside. We're gonna check on the smoker. And again, I'm cooking at 250 today. Still debating on how I wanna cook this. So before we go out there and check on that, I have an upper grate and then the main grate level. And I like to cook my briskets and ribs and everything in different places and kind of see how it cooks differently. And I'll be honest, guys, some of my best briskets have come off the upper rack. Put it up there, use this as a drip pan, and that's great for later on for doing some Kansas City style burn-ins. But at the same time, it's pretty cold outside. It's actually snowing right now. And the heat fluctuates much more. I'll put temp probes on the actual grill grates on the bottom level, and the heat stays pretty even throughout. Those upper levels, I'll get some good dispersion between the left and the right side, and it's, you know, we're talking 30 inches maybe of difference, and there might be a 50-degree difference, especially up here in the cold. So I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about that while I go outside and get this stuff ready. I might just end up, it's got a lot of good fat on it, so I might just end up putting it fat side up on the bottom with no drip pan. No water pan. I don't use water pans. Just my thing. Personal choice. You want to use water pan, use water pan. Again, Texas style brisket. I want this bark nice, thick, crunchy, dark. So we'll be back shortly, guys. All right, guys. I just checked on the smoker and we're up to temp. So I went ahead and threw my chef alarm probe in there. I'm not gonna necessarily plug it in yet, but we're gonna go with the bottom grate today. Sorry, it's pretty cold out, so I'm getting pretty even temps on that bottom grate based on my checks here with my Maverick. So we're gonna go ahead and just go on the bottom grate today. We're gonna place the point side, or this thick side, to the left, which is where the fire is. And I get this probe in there, we'll get the chef alarm going. You know, we're gonna set it for, we're looking for around 160. That's what we're gonna set the chef alarm for. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what we're gonna wrap, but it just gives me an alert to go out and look at it and look at the color of the bark and how the meat's looking. And we'll make a determination on that. Today we'll be wrapping with butcher paper. So I found a giant roll of that at Sam's Club, so I was pretty happy about that. And we will go ahead and get this brisket on, guys. So everything's ready to go. I'll see you guys outside. All right, guys, get the brisket outside. Let's get this bad boy on. Go ahead and get myself prepped out here with moving the meat on so that you can get it on as easy as possible once you get the lid open, because we definitely don't want it getting too hot or losing out much of that heat. There you go, guys. Get that side up. Towards the heat. Looks good. Take a quick look there. There she is. Going down. For right now, I'm gonna actually go inside and get some heat gloves. I'm gonna go and pull that top shelf off. There's just not gonna be a lot of room in there for that today, since we're cooking on the bottom shelf. And we will come back and check on this when it's time to wrap. See you guys soon. Hey guys, so it's been about 4 hours I just checked on the brisket. I'm gonna throw a picture in here. I didn't want to leave it open too long and carry the camera outside. It's looking good. We're about 142 degrees internal temp in the point. A little bit warmer in the flat, but color's just not there. Get to see a little bit of that moisture pool on the flat side where that fat's running down. I want to see a lot more of that and a lot darker of a color for this style of brisket. So stick with me and we'll be back. All right, so we have the brisket off. It looks pretty good. It's about 162 internal. We're gonna get it wrapped in this butcher paper and then get it back out. So I'll show you guys how we wrap it. All right, it's got a nice bark color going on. Look at that there, look at that. Take these two pieces of butcher paper. What's that brisket? In. Thing's nice and tight. Then we're gonna go put this back on the smoker. What's up, guys? Smoker's going. So we're on temp here. 189. Getting done. Yeah, that's what we're smoking in today. A little snowy. It's warm though. You got 10 degrees. Super nice out here. You get the Weber 22.5 inside. See over there, so I can zoom in here for you guys. Those are about shoulder height on my kids. Got snowblower, got all kinds of cool tunnels over there for the kids to play around in. But yeah, it's just a little bit of snow out here today. Beautiful day. All right, guys, we'll see you back inside when we pull this. All right, guys, we just hit 202 on the brisket here, so feels good, looks good. It's, as you can see, still snowing outside. It's kind of chilly, so I'm gonna just get a nice aluminum pan, put it out here. I'm gonna take the brisket, leave it wrapped, everything, put it in the pan. I'm gonna pull it off, and we'll go inside, and I'll show you guys how we let it rest for a while. All right, guys, we are back in the house. Here's the brisket. So the brisket's gonna stay wrapped. And I put it in this aluminum pan. Some people will cook at these pans because I want all that moisture to go in the bottom. I want to retain that for a little au jus later to kind of get some good flavor, maybe do some burn ends. But also the biggest thing is just so that as the meat rests, it can retain those juices back. So I got a towel here. As you can see, I just kind of turn it around. I'm just gonna wrap this up with the towel. Simple as that. If I wrap in aluminum foil, a lot of times I'll wrap it in a towel, just put it in a cooler, a warm cooler with no ice. That'll retain the heat. Using this pan with a butcher paper, I'm gonna wrap it like this. I have the oven in the house, not turned on, and I'm just gonna put it in the oven, let it sit in there. We'll let it rest. I'm gonna let it rest for about 2 hours. That's what I'm looking for today. So once we get done with the rest, we'll be back and we will cut this open and we'll take a look because it smells wonderful. All right, guys, we'll see. All right, guys, welcome back. Got the brisket. We're gonna pull it out. We have a lot of people in the house right now, so probably gonna be done talking at this point, but we'll get the video of the brisket coming out and cut up. So if you guys enjoy.